Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Agasically Stanage from GearWorks.com and the E2KG Network channel on YouTube, home of a fine series of podcasts covering video games and entertainment. This is another episode of the Streamer's Cookbook, episode number 2, where I go over the equipment that I use for live streams and game captures for a given week in time. So this week the setup's going to be a little more complicated than what we used last week, but I'm going to show you exactly how I have it set up and the components that I've selected and talk you through their characteristics and properties. So for this week we're going to be using a brand new video capture device that I've gotten a hold of for review called a MiraBox, M-I-R-A-B-O-X. For webcam, I'm going to be using the Logitech c930. For voiceover commentary, this is also going to be my first time getting it out of the box. We'll be using the Razer Seiren Elite. And then for in-game audio listening, we'll be using the Behringer Xenyx 302 USB hardware mixer in conjunction with a pair of YurBuds earbuds. I'm also going to try and test a DI400, which is also by Barringer, a direct injector, which is designed to help eliminate ground loops, because I tend to get ground loops every once in a while when I connect up a very complicated setup where I've got audio cables running everywhere. So we're going to give that a look. So let's head over and look at the equipment and talk about how I have it set up and wrap up this episode of the Streamer's Cookbook. And walk through take 1. Okay, so now we are over here at the hardware setup, so let's go ahead and talk through exactly what we have on hand and run down how I have it hooked up and any other special notes that we want to talk about as far as the equipment goes. Now, I've got a few pieces of equipment laid out over here. So, first of all, let's talk about the video capture device. This week, like I said, we're going to be using a new piece of equipment that I've brought in. This is called a MiraBox, M-I-R-A-B-O-X. I procured this from Amazon. It's about $100, so it's a fairly inexpensive piece of equipment in comparison to other video game capture cards. All I'm doing right now is I'm bringing in HDMI from the output side of my UberBox PC over there, and then sending it out to the so this is coming in from the GPU, then sending it out to the monitor through the output here on the back panel. Power is provided here by a USB-A connector to USB-A connector. I'm actually running that then over to the streaming PC using a 5-meter USB extension cable. What's really cool about this thing is supposedly it also will take any high-end video camera and make it look like a webcam to a PC. That is a trick that I only have one other piece of equipment that will do that, and that's a Blackmagic Design web presenter. That's a $500 piece of equipment. This is $100, so I'm really interested to see how this performs. Also note that this is a USB 3.0. For a webcam this week, I'm going to be using the Logitech c930. Again, that's just hooked up to a USB 3.0 port in the back. It doesn't really need USB 3.0, but I always prefer to, connect it to a bus. That's going to give me some overhead. For voiceover commentary this week, this is going to be the first time that this device goes into play. This is the first time I've had it out of the box. This is the Razer Seiren Elite condenser microphone. It's got controls for volume and gain up front. Volume is for if you are plugged into the headphone port in the bottom. It connects up using a micro USB to USB-A and has a high-pass band filter switch here on the bottom. It's got a really nice soft sound isolation bottom to it, so hopefully it won't pick up a lot of vibration coming up off the table. Big condenser microphone array, came with a windscreen on it as well. Mute button here for the microphone. So really looking forward to utilizing this piece of equipment. I don't have it connected right now, but like I said, it's just going to hook up micro USB to USB and then be configured as the microphone that I use in OBS. For getting the in-game audio into my headphones, I'm going to be using, you guys should have seen this before, the Behringer Xenyx 302 USB hardware mixer. What I have hooked up right now is I just have it running over to USB into the UberBox, but coming out of the back of the monitor, I have one of my patented, not my patented, I just use it all the time, 3.5mm output to RCA jack left and right splitter cables going into the line-in connector on the hardware mixer with the dip switches set so that it comes out over here on the headphone side. Again, these YurBuds earbuds are just a pair that a former coworker gave to me, so I don't have to wear big cans this week. And last but not least, this is another new piece of equipment that I've gotten a hold of that I'm going to be trying out this week. This is the Behringer DI400 Direct Injector. Now, the way these work is on the front panel here, you can bring your audio input into either one. If you're going to concurrently send it out to another output other than your mixer, you can send it out from this port. Now on the back side here, you have a male XLR connector, and I have this cable that we'll be using this week. So this is a female XLR to male 3.5 millimeter, and what I'm going to wind up doing is I am going to wind up connecting that into there and then running this over to the mixer. Now what I'm going to connect in over this end, and I may have to put this on a splitter cable or whatever, but the problem I've been having is that when I take audio, particularly often when I take it out of the back panel of a monitor, as I'm doing in this case, sometimes it creates a ground loop when I have a microphone plugged in somewhere within the closed loop circuit. So I had that problem last week when I was recording using the HD PVR Rocket. So what I'm going to do, and I've got to do some cable magic here, but I'm going to come out of the back of the monitor and go into this 1/4 input. So I'm probably going to change this to a straight 3.5 millimeter to 3.5 millimeter. Pop this 3.5 millimeter to 1/4 audio connector onto the end of it. I've also ordered another cable that does the same thing. I will plug that into there. It's going to go into the direct injector, and I will set it to the lift position to lift the ground on it to get rid of that ground loop. Then I will run this input, where I will probably put it on a 3.5 millimeter female to RCA jack splitter cable, run that into my line in, and then leave the headphones connected. What that should do is, if I'm getting a ground loop coming from the back panel output of the monitor, this should get rid of it. So I definitely need this because, like I said, I've been getting ground loops when I do things like some of these video game capture devices that have 3.5 millimeter both microphone and headphone ports in the front panel. A lot of times that creates a ground loop. So that's how everything's going to be set up this week. As always, I don't exactly know what I'm going to be live streaming or doing game captures on. I'm going to start by continuing my campaign in Rome Total War and doing some game captures of that, but who knows where I'll wind up. Thanks so much for joining in. If you got any questions, please ask them. Other than that, look for me on Mixer, Twitch, YouTube Gaming, or just head over to Rounding Off Infinity on YouTube. That's where I post everything that I wind up recording or live streaming. So thanks again for joining in. That's going to do it for me. My name has been Agastically Statements from GearWorks.com and the E2KG.